Hello, I'm Deborah Heifetz.
And I'm Judy Gantz, and we are doing this recording to introduce ourselves to you and to introduce the work we'll be doing both in a one-day workshop in New York, April 5th, and in a longer retreat in Northern Italy in mid-September. We've brought together Deborah's almost your life work, I would say, but certainly such a refined new model of human needs that you've created. We're bringing this together with the fascia movement work that I'm trained in from Karen Gertner's school. And in doing that, we're doing an embodied process with you that, Deborah, I'd like you to speak to. The embodied process is integrated with this beautiful relationship model so that we can become really happier in our relationships and more resilient and adaptable in our relationships. So, Deborah, I really want you to speak to the model because I have found it life-changing to know your model.
So the model is a model of human needs that says that human needs interact as a matrix, and there's a dynamic, ongoing dynamic, give and take dynamic between needs that are not hierarchical, that we can get triggered by any need. We can get triggered by the need for esteem equally as we get triggered by the need for belonging or the need for autonomy or fairness or recognition or identity or safety or physical aliveness. Any of the eight needs are designed for us to better survive in social relations. And so we're very vulnerable to getting these needs met. And part of the model, part of the reason, the intent for the model is to name these needs, and so that we can creatively look at how to satisfy them. Because there are many ways to satisfy a need. We just have to develop a language, an understanding, a capacity to witness and watch ourselves reacting or numbing or ignoring the needs that are
Or
happening.
fighting.
Right. And of
I
course,
mean,
fighting. The model
and
emerged out of
and
my research on peace building. So it came out of a desire to build world peace. And how can I contribute in a small way to help people become more conscious of what drives us into conflictual relationships? And so the model is a framework to help us make sense of what's going on within us and between us.
And there's so much conflict in the world right now. And whether we look at the macro level or the micro level, your model has allowed me to have so much more consciousness around what is triggering me emotionally. Because when I can name it as a need, then I can dialogue. I can dialogue about it. I can go internal with myself and I can go external with whether it's my partner, my friends, my community, and really have a way to dialogue and non-violently and discuss what the need is and what was triggered and how to resolve that. It's been so informative. And yet it's also been very embodied because yours is the only need model that talks about physical aliveness. So
Right.
could
And
you
I
say a
think
little more about that?
so physical aliveness is a need that I brought into the conversation of human needs because people clearly kill and die for pleasure and excitement. And they also numb themselves when there's so much pain that they can go into addiction, they can go into numerous ways of not feeling the suffering that they feel. So so bringing attention to physical aliveness, to our juiciness and to our the pleasure that's actually part and uniquely experienced in any one of these four hungers. So I in the model, I introduced this idea of a hunger, these archetypical energies of survival, love, power, and meaning. And each one is has a unique way of feeling pleasurable. I feel a different kind of pleasure when I feel loved than I do when I feel empowered or when I feel that I have meaning in my life. They're very different qualities of pleasure. So bringing attention to pleasure, to this embodiment, is really, really significant, not only because pleasure is important, but also because it's a resource to help us
Exactly.
ground ourselves and stabilize ourselves to go beyond our comfort zone so that we can be liberated from the very patterns that keep us stuck and unhappy. So the combination, the resilience of moving back and forth to ground ourselves in pleasure so that we can move forward and explore untapped terrain, to become less blind in our blind spots, That's part of what we're trying to achieve in our MAP journey. And on the
And
retreat,
I love that you say physical aliveness, because in the fascia work that I'm bringing to the workshop, fascia has this very subtle quality of bringing inner stability. Like you and I are both movement analysts. We've been working with dance and movement our whole life. But the fascia work is not just improving posture, it really is linking us to that interoception, that felt sense. And within it, we can have an inner stability in order to be adaptable, in order to be resilient. And the fact that you use the word pleasure, I think we probably don't even use that word enough when we think about embodiment. People are like, get embodied, be embodied, sense and feel. But really the activation of something so, as you say, resourcing as pleasure, I think is foundational, absolutely foundational.
so what we're inviting people to do is on September 10th to the 14th to come and give yourselves a spaciousness, to bring a question, an issue that you'd like to make progress, that you'd like to get clarity around. And then we'll introduce you to this tool, to this experience of a MAP journey, where you will be able to be in a safe environment and in an expressive environment to explore, and also to have time both for yourself and to be able to explore in a group, in a small, intimate group. So please contact us. We'd love to see you and welcome you to our
And
retreat.
feel free to email with any questions, or email if you would like to receive a flyer about either event, because we'd really love to share this work with you. Thank you.